Sean Fitzpatrick needs no introduction at all. 92 tests for the All Blacks. He was our hooker in 87. When we won the World Cup, he was captain in 95 when we lost the final in South Africa. Just a good old rugby chinwag chat with the legendary All Black captain. We're talking specifically about us and Ireland. Where can we attack them? How do we break them down? How does he want us to play? And what does it feel like being a former All Black, an All Black fan forever as he is, and us being in the very unusual situation and position of being underdogs for a World Cup knockout match? A very warm welcome back to the show, Sean. Thanks so much for joining us, mate.
Yeah, pleasure, Martin. Good to hear your voice again. As I just said just off air, I think the last time I spoke to you, which is not a good omen,
no,
was pre-semi-final 2019.
But the difference between then and now is I think both of us genuinely felt that we were going to beat that England side, and I certainly was surprised at the ferocity of their performance. Yet we go into this Ireland game, Sean. I don't know how you feel about it, mate, but I just don't know. I know the All Blacks are capable of a hell of a game, but that inconsistency we've had makes me feel really doubtful up against an Irish side that is really consistent.
Yeah, they are. They're probably obviously they're the number one ranked team in the world at the moment. I feel as though we know a lot more about them than we did about England in 2019, Martin.
Yep.
And I'm uneasy like you are. You know, I thought we'd sort of got over that sort of physicality issue we had, and then the Twickenham rolls along, 5-6 weeks ago, and I think that sort of shook us a bit. But I think since then, and even that game, I was at the game live for the opening game, and I thought for 40, 50, 60 minutes that we played really well, had lots of opportunities in that first half, but just didn't take them. So I'm really excited about the 23, that we've got everyone available. I said for us to have any chance to beat the Irish, we needed our 23 best players available, and I think we've got that. So, we're in with a real chance. And we're playing against the best. So yes, the boot is on the other foot.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions for you around that. We've been talking regularly with Justin, and Marshy has just been banging the same drum about picking that 23 and playing them. How do you feel about that, about the chopping and changing? Would you have liked to seen our A team, our 15 and our 8 out there week after week after week?
I think we've worked on. I understand where Marshy's coming from. But I think when you look at the 23, we've been playing that 23 barring one or two different positions. But I think in terms of combinations, when you look at the end of each game, that last sort of 15, 20 minutes, there's a number of different combinations that are going to be vital when we get to that last 20 minutes against Ireland. They are a seriously good team with a number of world-class players. And their 15, 18, 19 players can play 80 minutes.
Yeah.
I look at that. I look at Porter, what a machine he is. And what he did against the South Africans, made me really look at them closely. And the way they dismantled Scotland last weekend really made me think this is a very, very good Irish team.
I was going to reference both of those performances too, and the things that I really admired Ireland when I watched them were that it was two different ways of playing, and you knew this as captain as well. There are some test matches where, and I tell people that it was beautiful to watch. We had Grant Fox kicking goals. He would get us up 12-0. You'd be pointing at the scoreboard at the opposition, and it's like, come and get us and score twice if that's the case. Physically dominating, and then yet against Scotland, they actually showed that ball in hand as well, that they're a really exciting team. So they can play both ways, Ireland.
They can. Both sides of the ball. I said to a mate of mine, I said, both sides of the ball, attack and defence, they're very capable. They're very organised. They're very similar to France, and that's what I saw in that opening game. They trust each other. They trust their systems, and that's what France in that opening game, when it wasn't going right for sort of 50 minutes, they just stuck to their guns, what they know. their defensive systems, their attacking systems, their kicking systems. And what both those teams have got is an outstanding set piece. And that's what I'm sort of not unhappy about with the All Blacks at the moment. We've got a good set piece when we've got everyone available. And we've got a good set piece off the bench also. If we have a Sam Whitelock coming off the bench, I'm over the moon. That we've got real, capable, experienced international rugby players coming off the bench.
Yeah, just going back to Porter, Sean, he was at the press conference yesterday, and honestly, the guy is granite. He is as wide as he is tall. I was looking at him thinking, and that 75 minutes he fronted up against South Africa, how important is that to you, that those kind of guys playing those kind of positions play the whole game?
Well, against a team like South Africa, to do that is outstanding, and we know South Africa better than most teams, don't we? And they're not easily to beat. So when I see players like Porter, even Furlong, they've got great feet, and they can scrummage. They can scrummage all day long, and whether they, in terms of their 23. There's talk of them maybe bolstering their forwards. But it's important. And once again, I just go back to it. They trust each other, and they know they can beat the All Blacks. The one thing they haven't done is got out of a quarter-final. I don't think they'll be thinking about that, Martin. They're better than that now. They're like the French. They're a completely different package than what they were 3-4 years ago.
Well, it's interesting you say that, mate, because, there's a couple of media tosses, and I won't actually say myself included in that, who put that to them yesterday, this supposed bogey. And the answers were great coming back from Johnny Sexton and Andy Farrell. They said, look, we acknowledge that, but at the same time, that's a different group of players. This group of players have actually achieved and ticked all the boxes. And one of those big things was beating us down in New Zealand in a series. Surely that gives you all the confidence and belief. Then when you stack up over the last 6 test matches, they've beaten us 4 times. So I don't think that should plague their minds, should it? Obviously, you get nervous in knockout rugby, and you know better than anyone what that can do, pressure does to people. But just in terms of thinking, we've got this record in the back of our minds, I really do believe it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I think so. I was with Stephen Ferris a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about potential quarterfinals. And he was saying that the Irish should be more than happy, respectfully, more than happy to play the All Blacks, which sort of concerned me a bit. But as I said to him, I said the All Blacks, I think would be very happy to play the Irish in a quarterfinal also. That's, we're asking different questions, Martin, from what we normally do. And the team has been asked different questions to have to win a game against against Italy to progress through to the knockout stages. We've never been asked that before. So, and then and I heard Ian Foster saying, underdogs they don't worry about those tags. We've never been in a situation, in a situation. So you and I and the rugby fans of the world are excited. I'm really excited, nervous, excited. I'm heading over to Paris. We'll be calling the game. I'm with two Irish boys, Rory Best and O'Driscoll and Brian O'Driscoll, and luckily I've got Jill Douglas, whose sister's married to a Kiwi, so that's right. 2 on 2.
Sean Fitzpatrick is with us on the platform. Talk to me about how you want us to play, because the Irish in the opening 20 minutes of both half really bring it, don't they? What do you want to see from the All Blacks? Do you want to see us go live and direct, straight forward, maybe just one off and keep it nice and tight, or have you got a different plan?
No, I just want us to... You think when we're at our best, everything operates. We don't make mistakes. We don't give away penalties. We just build pressure. And you look at France and Ireland. That's what they've been doing. They just build pressure. Don't get any yellow cards, no red cards, and ultimately the door opens. And that's what you've got to take your opportunities. And teams that beat the All Blacks take their opportunities, and that's what we need to do in that opening 20, 30 minutes. We just got to be so clinical. And if there's an opportunity, you think of that opening game against the French. We had opportunities, but we didn't take those opportunities, and it came back to bite us later in the game.
In terms of the way that the game is going to be officiated, I sit there and I hold my head on my hands and I just think I don't want the TMO involved unless the TMO has to be involved. I just want the referees. I wish Ben O'Keefe was reffing this game. I know that Wayne Barnes, he's a good referee these days, but I just want the ref to ref the game. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. And you think of the good games that we've seen. Yeah, probably the best game of the tournament to date is South Africa Ireland. And we didn't, even though it was a Kiwi ref, we didn't hear, no one was talking about the ref.
No.
But you think also, Martin, you need two good teams that want to play rugby. They want to scrummage for the right reason, not scrummaging for a penalty. They want to have good set piece ball. So the two teams need to buy into it too. I think everyone gets a bit carried away, but it's the referee's fault. The good teams, they control their destiny really in terms of the set piece. As long as two teams, and I'm sure the All Blacks and the Irish will be exactly the same.
As an All Black and going through the attrition that you did, as an All Black fan, I always love it when our backs are against the wall or we're written off or people hate us. It's like, yeah, good, write us off again. Did you feed off that same kind of stuff as a player?
Yeah, I'm sort of feeding it off it now as a pundit.
Right.
I'm just sitting there quietly. Don't talk about us. We're not going to talk about the All Blacks, but keep it quiet. But yeah, I think so. We like touring, don't we? We like going into a cauldron. We like going to Stade de France as underdogs, silence the crowd. There'll be a lot of green there, I can assure you of that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're confident. They are really confident, which I'm loving. My Irish mates, I am absolutely loving it. One of my mates said to me the other night, he said, "Oh, I can see that bloody look in your eye on TV."
Brilliant.
Which but I don't know. I just hope it's a great game. And this World Cup, in the pool stage, just threw up so much jeopardy, so many different things. And France is just on fire, as you know. The atmosphere around Paris will be wonderful, as it will be in Marseille.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about those. I just wanted to talk to you pretty much about our game. But the other game that's on as well, South Africa versus France. It is such a shame that we're all on the same side of the draw. These two games equally could be semi-finals or could be finals.
Yeah, I've said publicly that if whoever wins those quarterfinals will go through to the final. I see them in one of and obviously there'll be a winner. It'd be lovely if it was France and the All Blacks, but yeah, and the other side of the draw, who knows? Wales. Gatland's done a fantastic job with Wales. It just amazes me what he's done there to turn them around. And they're playing good rugby, so they've got a tough assignment against Argentina, who looked better. And then England against Fiji, who, what I loved about Fiji-Portugal was it was a win-win, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Fiji got through, and I loved seeing the Portuguese arrive back in Lisbon. I don't know if you saw some of those photos.
Isn't that brilliant?
That is just so good for the World Cup and great for rugby.
All right, then, call it then. I don't know whether it's a gut feeling. I can never bet against the All Blacks. So I've been asked this by other Irish media over the press conferences and that. My answer was always the same. We're the All Blacks, man. With Johnson out, come and get us.
Yeah, I'm like you, mate. If we do everything we've spoken about, and I just like what's coming out of the All Black camp at the moment. I haven't been to any press conferences like you have. I've after what happened in 2019, I'm not going to that press conference on Thursday. But I'm just quietly going about my work, and we'll see what happens.
Devlin. You better believe it. The platform.